So let's be honest. We got love all fucking wrong. Let's just be real. You ever heard that saying? Things are being loved and people are being used. Well, this is why life is the way that it is. This is why we see one another the way that we do. On today's video, boo boos, we're going to get a depth in understanding conditional love versus unconditional love. And when you know these two things, not only that they will change everything about how you see love, but you'll start realizing that there's a lot more deeper love to you than you have ever known before. My eyes are gonna be fucking squinching throughout this whole entire video. But what is going on, you beautiful boo-boos? Welcome back, AwakenOnes, on another episode. I'm Embracing the Ascension series with your homegirl, Brittany Fontanez. I am intuitive shaman, healer, and reader. I do guided readings for your zodiac sign, talk about spirituality with compassion, emotional awareness with love, and also I just talk about things I feel need to be talked about because our divine right to know more than what we have been told. Boo-boos. I'm on vacation in Arizona. Such a blessing to be here. I'm actually considering moving here, so we always got to make some changes since we're about to get into the new year. And this is why I feel it's so important to talk about what I am going to talk about and share with you today. Now, if you want to know any of my business inquiries, all that information down in the description box below, as well as for the link to my Awaken Prophecy Healing Course, my merch, anything you need, boo-boo, all that is down in the description box below. And I've been honing in on inner child healing work, so you go check that out as well. But beautiful beings, be on vacation, the vibes here though, but the one thing that I really recognized is, being on this path where you're choosing to devote to your awakening, meaning that you're not just saying you're woke, but you're actually embodying the truth of what it is to be a divine being. In this process, we actually come to confronting the paradigm of conditional love within ourselves. And it's honestly the most hardest pill to swallow when you start realizing how much not only you've been holding yourself back, but how much you have been your own demise. And it's hard. That's why a lot of people don't want to do the inner work. That's why a lot of people don't want to do the self-reflection. That's why a lot of people don't have self-reflection, is because it requires them to see the parts of themselves that they deny, that they think that are unworthy of love or attention. But those things that we deny within ourselves are actually really our conscious way of being. Little do we know. But this is why I feel it's so important to understand this paradigm of conditional love when you're actually going to devote yourself into your spirituality and understanding unconditional love. Now, the whole goal is to actually love, period. And I know this sounds so cliche, but let's be fucking honest. Everyone in this world is seeking, desiring, yearning, even desperate for love. I used to be one of those people. Codependent. Oh my god, abandonment wounds, don't get me started, boo. I was desperate as a motherfucker. But I had to realize that even when I did have love, I started to sabotage it, and I started to withhold my love towards the people that I did love, and I started to hurt through my words because it was mind over heart. I was very conditional in my love, and this all stemmed from realizing how unaware I was of the paradigms I was holding that weren't even mine. In childhood, I had to really understand that my mom withheld her love from me in order to deem that I'm worthy of her love. That was such a huge revelation in itself that it hurt me. I felt a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. But this is why I want to share this with you, because I don't want you to sit in guilt. I don't want you to feel like you lost an opportunity on love. I don't want you to feel like there will never be love for you again, because there's love everywhere. But the reason why particular relationships in your life don't work out is because you're unaware of the certain paradigms you have towards love. Some of us believe that love is meant to be taken away or given when pleased in our own benefit, and that's conditional love. This is why I said in the beginning the saying that things are being loved and people are being used. The whole point of this existence is to love one another. Our whole source, our creator that created this life, created it through love, so we could create more love within it, because love is the creation of all. Put two people together, they can make a baby. Not saying that's love, but that's power that can create through pleasure. through enjoyment, through close to love itself. Why do you think people say, oh my God, during an orgasm? Because that's the closest euphoric emotion you will have getting closer to God. But let me backtrack. So conditional love, when you start to realize this paradigm, it's a tough one to become aware of, because you're not only realizing how conditional your love was to other people, how conditional your love was to yourself. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfectionists, to be someone that we're not. And then in doing so, we're really putting on a facade. And yet we're wondering why we're attracting certain love partners, certain friendships, certain people. And it's because we're holding on to that facade of thinking that, you know, until I get what I deserve, I won't give what that other person needs. Or, like how I used to be, actually. I used to be both sides, you guys. That's why I could really share this information. Or you could give too much in your love and don't know how to receive. That's a big one nowadays. And it all stems from realizing, what does love mean to you? Because love really is just an energetic essence of feeling, an energetic charge that actually drives us to be more, to allow ourselves to reveal more of what we have yet to tap into. It's just a euphoric energy that we all want to feel. This is why we seek it in people. And this is why we seek it in things, but we seek it in such the wrong ways. So how can you unravel the paradigm of conditional love to unconditional love? Is first, of course, you got to be aware of it. You can't change what you're not aware of. But the easiest way I have felt to get into the paradigm of unconditional love is by realizing you are not your mistakes. You are not your actions. You're not even this vessel or these thoughts or these emotions. You are the observer of them. And I know that's hard to hear, because you feel like, since everything seems so real in this physicality, you have to be this identity that you define yourself through this meat suit. But you got to think of it in a broader perspective, because this is why we are so conditional in our love, is because we have a distorted, limited perspective that we have picked up through our wounds, through our pains, through our worries, and through our fears. And because of this is why we have strayed away from actually loving fully as who we are, and allowing that unconditional love to come to us and be unraveled from us. So it's very important to be aware of the fact that you are not everything that you have displayed. If anything, it's very important to tap into unconditional love by realizing you were unaware. You have to become aware of what you were unaware of and give yourself compassion. Compassion is the biggest thing I have learned throughout this entire year, because compassion leads to radical self-forgiveness and self-acceptance. You should not beat yourself up when you are unaware of what you didn't know at that time, because what you knew at that time is what you knew best. And at that time was the best version of you, but now it's a better version of you, because that version of you helped you be this version that you can allow yourself to be. So that's the first step, is having radical compassion for what you were unaware of, and knowing that it wasn't you. It was just a part of you needed to learn, so you do not have to be that version of you. Now, the second way to tap into unconditional love is by realizing, ask yourself this deep question. You know, I've been meeting new people here, and it's been fucking fantastic. I just know serendipity just works so amazing in my life. I fucking love it. But I had this conversation with my Airbnb owner, and he was telling me, one of his friends said, what would you want someone to say to you when they come up to you? Meaning, like, ask them out on a date or for their number. What would you want that person to say to you? And that's something you need to say to that person. And that made me really wonder, that's what we need to do as people. We need to stop being so engulfed in our wanting to exude power from others and try to take and try to receive, because it's not only about receiving, it's about giving. So it really dawned on me to say, you know what? It's important for us to be curious, To be curious of why we are attracted to certain people and things, and why we think the way that we do towards love, and to be curious about people itself. Majority of us don't even hold space for other people to be heard, to be seen, to be accepted. I would know. It was to the point that I had such beautiful relationships that could have flourished, but I didn't know how to accept the person because I didn't know how to accept myself. Love stems from self, always. You can never display what you don't give to yourself, because what you receive what you are. So if you're hard on yourself and judgmental, of course you're going to be like that to the other person. And to the point that you might say, oh, it's always you, pointing the finger at them. Eventually that person's going to run away. And you may actually have this belief, oh, they always run away. Maybe they don't run away because you always pointing at the finger. Maybe they run away is because the belief that you hold, that you think you're not worthy of being seen for who you are. You want to be seen for who you are, but you're shunning yourself the way you shun that person. You see how this works? So everything always stems back to you. And the way to step into unconditional love is to be curious about the parts of you that feel unloved. To be curious about the parts of you that is so unaware of what love is, but is so desperate for it and seeking what is good for your heart. And here's another thing. And we're getting into the last tip of tapping into unconditional love. You gotta focus on your heart. I know that sounds so cliche, but hear me. You gotta focus on your heart. A lot of us believe that our thoughts are the empowerment of us moving forward. It's really not. Our thoughts are just tools that we can choose to use in order to move us into the direction that we want to go. I kind of see thoughts as like a screwdriver. Screwdriver, you need to screw in what emotion you want to feel, and then through that emotion, you would take action. You see what I'm saying? Thoughts are just a tool. The mind is just a tool. It's supposed to be a faithful servant. It's not supposed to rule you. Your heart is what rules you. Your heart is what guides you. And why I say it's so important to focus on your heart is because, one, the heart was the first thing ever created in the body, before the mind, before even the flesh is formed. And secondly, even in the Bible, it says, all problems stem from the heart. So that means if all problems stem from the heart, all solutions stem from the heart. And what does that mean if all problems stem from the heart? It means your heart is the energy. It's literally the engine that drives your vessel. It drives how you perceive. It drives your thoughts. It drives your actions. I don't care what anyone says. Your thoughts don't create your emotions only. Your emotions do create your thoughts and your actions mostly, because that's where it gets the charge in order to move. So it's important to focus on your heart. When you want to do something, what does your heart say? Does it tell you yes? Does it tell you no? It's so important to focus on your heart, because that is the driving force that is going to lead you to what it is that's divinely meant for you. And if you're always being ruled by your thoughts, here's one thing I'm going to share with you. The ego will always, there's nothing wrong with the ego, but if you don't have it in check, it will always want to take. And that's not the goal here. The goal is to give. Not give to the point of self-depletion and self-neglection, but give to the point that you understand the divine love that lies within you. You fill that up within yourself, and you can see how can you give that in return to the world. Because each of us are a piece of this universal puzzle. So you're just as important as this bush, as these grains, as that mountain. You're just as important. So the best way, I believe, to get from conditional love to unconditional love is to analyze what has made you believe that love is something to work hard for, love is something to earn, or what makes you believe that you're hard to love. It's very important. And I guarantee you, when you actually tap into your heart, you're going to feel those blockages. Oh boy, do I feel those blockages. But that's a beautiful thing. True love stems from yourself yearning and signaling to you there is something going on within that feels like a blockage. And that's not trying to hold you back. That's not trying to bother you. It's trying to signal to you it's time to come back home. It's time to give yourself what it needs. And then in return, when you can clear that out, then you can so freely give, not from a place of expecting, but in a place of just like, damn, I just want to give because it feels good. I think it's a blessing that people who choose to give rather than seek and take. Like, I will always go back to the story of Yeshua. Oh my God, Yeshua. Learning more, Yeshua is Jesus, but I consider Yeshua his real name. I will always go back to the story because he is the prime example of unconditional love. Now, I'm not saying we have to be like these gurus. No, that's not what I'm saying. Even in the Bible, Jesus said, all can do like me, but better. All can do like me, but better. The goal here is to see why he was the primary example of unconditional love. He just gave. He healed. He spoke truth with compassion. He just did not judge. Did not want. The only want he desired was to give. And that's fucking beautiful. I think it's so beautiful because we have the capacity to do that through our creativity, through our curiosity, through our compassion, and through the wisdom we gain because we have abandoned ourselves. So the quickest way to get to unconditional love is to stop abandoning yourself. Stop focusing on what other people are doing and focus on what does your heart need? Who do you want to be? How do you want to express that? And what blocks you from all of that? So other than that, my beautiful, beautiful motherfucking beings. That's all I have for you today on conditional love versus unconditional love. And I hope that everything I share with you was an activator for you to not fear doing the inner work that holds you back from receiving the love that you know you deserve. Because listen, we are divine loving beings. And when we forget this, we're really forgetting the power that we hold towards this world. And don't punish yourself because you have a hard time forgiving. Ask. We got spirit guides. We got sources. We got resources that we may not see that are actually here waiting to be an assistance for you. If you don't know how to love yourself, just ask. If you don't know how to forgive yourself, just ask. Forgiveness is a hard thing, a hard process to go through. But let me tell you, forgiveness is really not for the other person. It's for you. It's for you because it helps you get rid of the hurt that is blocking your light from shining that the world solely needs. And not only that, it holds you back from seeing how beautiful you are as an imperfect, perfect being. So, other than that, my beautiful beings, that was all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification button. And also, I just want to say thank you for all my new subscribers. You guys are the fucking best. And I will get back onto those zodiac readings probably, most likely, next week, even though it's my birthday. Maybe the week after that. But we'll see what happens. I'll make sure I update you guys on that. But other than that, you guys, I love you so much. Have a blissful day.